about 20 minutes. We are having some family over. My husband's aunt and uncle from Sweden are coming to visit us here in Copenhagen. They are taking a train to come see us, and we are hosting them for dinner tonight. I had Danish class this morning, then I had to pick up some groceries for dinner. My husband was working from home today, so I took the opportunity of not having responsibility of the dogs to walk around the city and look in some shops, and it's a really beautiful day. We had all the windows open, but I had to close them to talk to you because my neighbors are outside painting chairs, it looks like, and they're blasting their music and having a good time doing that, which is great for them, but I just had to close the windows for a second. So yeah, pretty busy day, and it's still going, and I'm really excited to see some family today. And my husband has a really delicious dinner planned. We're having jackfruit stew, which if you've never had jackfruit in a meal before, it kind of simulates the texture of meat, but it's a fruit. And my husband has been making this really delicious curry stew with it. And also, my husband just baked some really delicious smelling focaccia bread, and I am about to make a fruit salad. That's my contribution to dinner, because if you know me, you know I'm not really a cook. I like to keep it simple in the kitchen. So I got some fruits at the grocery store, and I'm just gonna pretty it up in a bowl and also make some lemon flavored whipped cream. And now we have only about 15 minutes until our guests are here. So I'm gonna get cleaned up and start making fruit salad. I'm gonna add a bit of lemon zest. Good morning. Last night, as you will have seen, we had some family over for dinner. My husband's aunt and uncle were visiting us from Sweden. They have been doing some summer traveling, and they decided to add Copenhagen to their list so that they could come and visit us. And so we are really, really grateful that we had that time that we could spend with them. When I was on the phone last night telling my mother about their visit, I told her we had a delightful time, and she was taken aback by my use of the word delightful. It's just not a word that a lot of native English speakers use a lot, at least not in the US. Maybe they do more so in the UK. But now I've started saying delightful all the time because in Danish class, the teacher always starts the class by asking us about the weather, and the past few days have been really pretty. So my response is often, det er dejligt vejr, which is Danish for it is delightful weather. And I don't know, I just think it's a really lovely way to describe the day. Now it's becoming a part of my everyday English vocabulary as well. It's just so funny how learning a foreign language can actually change the way you speak in your native language as well. But yeah, so last night was delightful. And so now on my to-do list, I am going to work on my Danish. What else is new? You know that I am determined to become fluent in Danish within the next couple of years. And so it just has to be a part of my everyday routine. And especially since I have a Danish test coming up in actually just a few days. I actually only have one more Danish class before our test date. Just one more day to practice with the rest of my classmates. And one component of our test is that we get to pick a category, actually 2 categories. And then on test day, our teacher is just going to randomly pick one of those categories. My two categories are mitt arbete and min bolig. In English, that's my work and my residence. So I have to make sure I feel really confident speaking on both of those topics. And we're given like a little sheet where we can write down little notes, not full sentences, but just like a word or two to help jog our memories. So I'm gonna first do that and think about what I'm gonna say, and then I'm gonna practice speaking with you, which is really nerve-wracking, but I feel like when I did this last semester, it really helped me. If I can be brave enough to speak to all of you on YouTube in Danish, then test day is gonna feel like a breeze. But first, I need some brain food, so we're gonna make a little snack. Okay, now it's time to practice. I have my paper with some keywords I've written down to make sure I cover everything I want to cover. I just want to keep it close while I'm practicing so that I can make sure that I cover all of the different categories that we're required to cover. So, jeg vil tale om min bolig. Jeg bor i en lille lejlighed i Copenhagen. Min lejlighed har en stue, spiseplads og et badeværelse. Den har også et lille soveværelse. Jeg deler lejligheden med min mand og mine 2 hunde. Og jeg elsker lejligheden, fordi den er virkelig hyggelig. Men nogle gange tænker jeg, at jeg gerne ville have et andet værelse for yoga eller læsning. Min mand og jeg ville også gerne have et barn, så mere plads ville være dejligt. Naboer. Jeg er rigtig glad for mine naboer, fordi de ikke larmer for mig. Jeg kender ikke rigtig mine naboer. Det er okay med mig. Jeg er glad for dette område. Min lejlighed ligger overfor en park. Jeg er ofte udenfor på grund af hundene. Så jeg er glad for parken. Jeg elsker mit kvarter, fordi jeg synes folk her er venlige. Yeah, det er alt. That's all I got. I think I covered all of the topics. So hopefully that was at least a minute. It's just really tough when you have to speak and your brain is just constantly rolling. I've also been working really hard and it's really tough on making sure that I use the correct form of each word. So if you are a Danish speaker and you notice that I'm using the wrong form of something, for instance, if it's an et word and I used n, please let me know. Of course, with kindness, I am still learning and growing, but I do want to know if I'm saying something wrong because that's the only way I'll grow. So I'll never be offended if you call out something I'm saying incorrectly. Speaking with you really helped me just to shake off some nerves. So I do feel a little bit better. I at least know that I have something to talk about. I have to say, I feel way more comfortable talking off the top of my head than I did last semester. So that's been really cool to experience, that this language that I've been working with is starting to feel more natural. Now it still doesn't feel natural enough to start having complex conversations. Every day I'm feeling better and better about my language journey, and it's a delightful feeling.